And in our top business story, the International Monetary Fund has backed Saudi Arabia's sweeping economic reform plan and said the kingdom was cutting spending at the right speed to cope with a huge state budget deficit caused by low oil prices. Late last month, the Deputy Crown Prince announced steps to reduce the kingdom's dependence on oil exports over the next 15 years, including subsidy cuts, tax rises, sales of state assets, a government efficiency drive and efforts to spur private sector investment. The IMF had for years been urging Saudi Arabia to adopt many of those measures, and in a statement on today, it said the reform plan aimed for an appropriately bold and far-reaching transformation of the Saudi Arabian economy. An IMF official added that to ensure the success, the reforms will need to be properly prioritized and sequenced, and the appropriate pace of implementation carefully assessed. The IMF also said it approved of the way in which the government was financing its deficit with a combination of drawing down its financial reserves and issuing debt at home and abroad. Dubai tourism chiefs have teamed up with Airbnb to promote responsible rentals as listings of holiday homes in the Emirates surge. The number of Airbnb guests staying in Dubai properties has nearly doubled over the past years, with nearly 3,500 listings. Dubai's Department of Tourism and Commerce Marketing said it signed an initial agreement with Airbnb to help to grow and diversify the Emirates tourism sector. It comes a month after Dubai Tourism introduced regulations simplifying short-term rentals in Dubai via Airbnb and other short-term home rental websites. Under the terms of the MOU, Airbnb will work with Dubai Tourism to help prevent breaches of the newly drafted regulations by informing all host members of the Dubai Tourism rules. Airbnb will also work with Dubai Tourism to promote tourism within the Emirate. The signing of the MOU comes a month after Dubai Tourism updated regulations to simplify holiday home rentals booked via Airbnb and similar providers. The new regulations dropped the requirements for homeowners and home renters to register via an approved operator, enabling them to apply directly to Dubai Tourism for a holiday home license. Etihad is set to offer its second major group-level bond issue and comes after it raised an initial $700 million with a 5-year bond issue last September. Speaking at a Global Alitalia event in Rome, the group chief executive, James Hogan, said the bond sale had been launched earlier this week and that more details, including its value, should be made available within the next 24 hours. Mr. Hogan added that Etihad and its partner airlines now had combined revenue of $25 billion. It also has 716 aircraft, 72,360 employees, and carried more than 111 million passengers to 349 destinations. Earlier this week, Bloomberg reported that a funding vehicle known as EA Partners 2 had been set up to raise debt, and that Goldman Sachs International, ADS Securities, Anoa Capital and Integrated Capital had been set up as joint lead managers. As more than 100 billion connections are expected globally by 2025, top CEOs and leaders in the telecommunication industry have today discussed the challenges and opportunities for telecom operators while making their digital transformation journeys. Releasing their third Global Connectivity Index, GCI, on the sidelines of the Telecom Leaders Summit in Dubai today, officials representing Huawei stated that according to their survey, the quality of a nation's economic growth improves as its digital infrastructure becomes stronger. And in the current global economic situation, ICTs are expected to fuel competitiveness and innovation among nations while also fueling their economic growth. In their index, it was found that the world connectivity has gone up by 2 points, an increase of 5% over last year, and shows that all countries in the world are progressing on their digital transformation journeys, but the rate of development is uneven as some countries are not fully reaping the benefits of the digital economy. It was highlighted that the UAE, Qatar and China are ranked top 3 in the list among developing countries that are leading adopters of digital transformation. It was mentioned that the survey findings assessed 50 countries who account for 90% of the global GDP.
Actually, I know that UAE has a great plan for future. Smart Dubai, as already mentioned in my presentation, that try to make everything connected. So I think UAE already have a great infrastructure and already setting a foundation for the next stage improvement on GCI. For example, getting more push from the cloud, from the big data, and from the IoT kind of ICT services.
ICT and the telecom already facilitate socio-economic development everywhere. I think that the importance of ICT as enablers to facilitate socio-economic development is already widely recognized. But all this can be achieved if we have a good environment for the development of infrastructure. And the infrastructure up to now is very, very developed. According to our statistics, among 7.3 billion people, we have almost 7.3 billion mobile subscriptions. And we also have around 3.8 billion internet connections. So that means the connectivity of our population to the new technologies is quite remarkable.
During a session on how telecom operators are addressing new digital opportunities, the expert in the industry stated that while telecom operators are looking at ways to make a smooth digital transformation, most are not well placed for other types of retail business models, including leveraging social media platforms to generate revenues.
Telecoms operators, they need to realise, and I think they are realising, they're not going to be able to provide all of those services themselves. They need to partner with different third parties. So smart home, a really good example of that. You may, as an operator, have your smart home platform, and you may have certain services you provide. So it may be Etihad own security system, home security system. But then there'll be other services that you want in a home, maybe a smart doorbell, or a water leakage system, or whatever it is, which the telco isn't going to be able to develop itself, but it's going to need partners to do so. So it's a mix of providing your own services, providing partner services, and in the case of consumer services, being able to wrap them within the operator's own bill and be able to support and build those services.